I think I'm live. Yep, says gives me the green light. All good here. Hopefully, I'm heard. Okay, just trying to turn everything off. Greetings, happy holidays to all of you guys around the world. So obviously, I'm not at my house right now because um, even though I don't celebrate Christmas, most of my family members, at least here, do, and so we're having to travel to go and see some of my other family for a Christmas lunch. So it's a little early. I wanted to try and get this in before I left because I wanted to wish everybody happy holidays, whether you celebrate or not, around the world, and send you my love at this time because I know that it's been a crazy year and so much has happened that just seems to defy so much about our existence and the basic elements of living, as in our rights, our freedom of speech, being able to do as we please. We know that has been very different this year. So, I hope whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world, I know in the north it's cold, so I'm sure there will be a lot of you that are up in the snow or having warm Christmas lunches or dinners or holidays. Whereas here, down where I am in the southern hemisphere, it's hot. But thankfully, these last couple of weeks have been so nice. Oh my gosh. I am so taking advantage of this weather because usually at Christmas time in this country, in this area, it can be anywhere between 35 to 45 degrees. So it's been lovely to not have that. Saying here, please check video resolution. Is my resolution okay? I hope so. Let me just go back here. So it's nice. I've been totally taking advantage of that, and I've actually started. If you've seen my blog post at my website, you'll know that my poor hothouse copped a beating a few weeks ago when I was back up in the desert, and yeah, the frame broke because there was so much wind and so much weight because what had happened was the rain had collected in one area and it just kept dragging the plastic down, and it just kept dragging it, and it was windy, so it was shaking the frame, and the frame, being that it was a cheap frame, well, guess what? It just broke. It completely snapped, so there's no way of being able to put the metal back in together. Anyway, it's still going. I have fantastic tomatoes on the bush. You would have seen pictures of little ones on the blog post. But I am building my own style, so Andulairah style shade house. So last week I have concreted in the big frame posts, which is one of those asshole jobs. It was a pretty quick job, but there was a lot of prep work, and quick as in you have to work quickly with cement, wet cement. So a lot of racing with heavy buckets of cement, but I finally got it in, and the posts that I used were reject posts. So there's a couple that are a little bit bendy, but I got them for $10 each, which is a bargain. Treated pine, and so I get those from my local sawmill. Then I've got an order coming on Monday, which is delivering the shade cloth and the horizontal beams and the frame. So, I'm hoping the weather stays good for a couple of days so I can put that up. And then I'm going to be making some raised beds with the brick that I've got, and we'll concrete those in, and hopefully I can grow things in there. I think it's like 5.5 meters by about 5, so there's some room in there, and it'll be nice just to have a shade house. So I'm using shade cloth so that air can penetrate through, the rain can penetrate through. I hope it lasts. Oh gosh. So I've had a experimental, challenging year in that respect. So the weather has been very good, and I have been flat out um, busy, and it has all seemed to have kind of accumulated up until now. Like jewelry pieces I've been working on. Can you see my little ring here? Let me bring myself back on the frame. Maybe you've seen it on my Etsy shop. Whoop. Can you see that? Little Roman soldier. I'm terrible with this. Here, look, I'll just take it off. So, intricate work. Oh, God. Guys, I'm sorry. There. Did I do it? Yeah. So, I've been working on some other pieces. The next piece I'm working on. Yeah, it's a little bit risque. It's a little bit erotica, but I love it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. So it might be a little bit shocking for some people, but you know me with my designs. I'm on the fringe. I'm on the fringe. And I've also got here to show you what else I've been working on. So this is my little rose night cream that I've finally finished. I've had a couple of you order it already. So this has been made, handmade by me, from the rose petals, the roses, the Persian roses out in my garden. And it smells so good. So even though it looks, kind of smooth, believe me, there are rose petals in here, which kind of makes it granulated. And it's used at night because it's a heavy cream. It's a heavy cream. And it's got granulation, so it's good for a little exfoliation as well. So I would love to hear your feedback on that. So I've already told the customers I have sold these others to give me honest feedback. I want to know how your skin reacts to my petals, to my roses, because it's just pure ingredients, because I'm allergic to everything. I can't have it any other way. If I can't read or understand ingredients on the back of any kind of products, I can't use it, especially with my hair. I can't use it. I'm too allergic to things. I take that as a good sign, because that means my body is protecting me. It doesn't want these chemicals and things touching my skin or my scalp. So I would love to know your honest feedback, how your skin reacts to things like, to this, because in here, all this has is rose petals, rose oil, shea butter. Where are my ingredients? Shea butter, argan oils, raspberry seed, tuberose, and that's it. So that combination together, the rose petals can only be good. Roses, I feel like roses are like the miracle flower. You can eat them, you can drink rose water. They smell so beautiful, they look so beautiful. It's just like the miracle flower to me. So I put those. All the spring season of flowers are um, in my skin cream, in my night cream. So it'll be interesting to see how people's skin reacts to that. So I've got a link on the description box, so you can go and check that out. So I have been busy, and everything's kind of accumulated to now. It's been such a crazy year, and I hope that most people have, at least watching my channel, have recognized the lessons in the craziness of the world. Obviously, I can't go into detail on this channel without my ass getting booted off my own YouTube channel again. And this is what I mean: freedom of speech. and sharing opinion is becoming more constricted, more confined, and it may get to the point where I have to just talk about things on my website. But even then, things are still regulated, so it's almost as if you can't even talk about it out loud anymore. So that's what's happening in the world. So, Christmas time, festive time, whatever you celebrate, it's kind of nice just to unwind, relax. And more than ever, I think everybody is going to appreciate spending time with family and friends because this year, and even now, I think there's restrictions in California. Like some people won't even get to spend time with their families. So I feel so lucky that I can. And restrictions have eased here, or control, I should say, has eased here. So I feel very lucky and privileged that I can spend time with family. Can you see little presents in the back? Do you see that little bowl of honey there? That is honey. We gift each other things like that. Honey, um, whatever. Like Christmas is full of interesting presents, and I'm not even really. Um, I don't believe in the saturation of or the gluttony that Christmas can bring. I love gift exchange, but when it's appreciated, like when a kid or someone has maybe 20 presents at Christmas, I think that's too much. If you could spend, if I had children, I would maybe only get one or two presents from my children, but they are very thoughtful, very detailed, very special presents. It's not just something I would buy for the sake of making sure they have something at Christmas. Um, it would be something very thoughtful. I'm sure a lot of you are probably on the same page with me with that. So it's been a crazy year. Crazy things have happened, and I just want to say, moving into 2021, um, things are. Can I just say here, without going into detail, I just want to say, if you believe that things are ever going to go back to the way it was, it never will be. I just want to say that right now. So, for those of you that believe life will be as it once was, it won't be. It's going to be different, and I just feel like there will be more. When psychically, when I think of this, I just think of, I get the picture from spirit of more constriction. So, um, and it's going to be, everything's going to be heavily regulated, and oh gosh, I want to say so much. I want to talk about this vaccine. I want to talk about all of it, but oh god, it makes me just hate what YouTube has become because I can't even say what I want to say. And I really thought about this on my website. I and I have said personally to some people that have reached out to me via email. We all know what's happening around the world. I want to share with people and teach people how to cope and deal with life on their terms. Being the best human they can be, focusing on the beautiful things, focusing on the things that people can control, which is how you respond, how you treat yourself, how you treat your home, how you um, condition and project your energy, things that you can control, because you have to understand, no matter what you look at it, no matter how you look at it, this is a huge drama playing out, and we are just a part of the earth drama. This is the earth realm. This is just a drama, and you have to know you are so much more than just this flesh and blood and this drama playing out on earth. You are so much more than that. And so, with my work, I would like to try and focus my attention on the beautiful things of life, of how to love easy, how to give easy, how to live in accordance with nature, with the earth, how to, learn to get in touch with your own intuition and utilize your own energy. Um, get more galactic, get get beyond the earth thinking, get beyond um, what's happening here on the surface. Think more, you know, expanded. Think more galactic. Think more about our neighbors in space. Um, Changing your energetic framework so that you are a human of a golden age, of a galactic age. Um, and it comes back to, but let's just say one day you are presented in front of 10 different species of other man from other parts of the universe, or beings, ET. Let's just say that you were a representation of the human of Earth. Would you be proud of who you are standing in front of these other beings? Would you say you are the best representation of yourself? Would you be proud to show and say, look, I am a human of Earth. I live in accordance with nature. I am a peaceful being. I try to live honestly and altruistically. Could you honestly say to yourself that you would be proud of the representation if you were chosen to represent Earth? You know, like, and this is what I think about. I think, would I be happy with the representation of 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 what I am, my energetic footprint? Would I be a happy representation? Would I be content with the person that I am in front of a line of these beings? Would I feel a good representation of a sane human of Earth? I think about things like that. I think, if we were sitting in a round table, and we have delegates from, I don't know, each different civilization, and I was chosen to represent Earth, would I be happy with my representation? I think about these things. I people wonder why, we haven't been publicly invited into the galactic family. It's because of what we're doing and who we are. And um, I mean, would you want to come down? Would you want to come down and try and have agreements and peace treaties and and exchange with these beings? I doubt it. We'd look at Earth and we just think, oh my gosh, these people. Who are these humans of Earth? They are aggressive. They don't like each other. They kill each other. They use this thing called money, and they accumulate it, and they live for it. That is their religion, basically. Um, it would be a mind fuck. It would. I would turn the other way, and I'd be like, oh, we'll give them a good 10,000 years to sort themselves out, and we'll come back then. It would be crazy. So I think about those things. And creating that golden age takes an accumulation of people believing and thinking a certain way, which is beyond what is happening, because the old world is crumbling and there is a new world coming, and it's up to you to decide where you want to be in accordance to that. I know where I want to be. I know what I want to be doing. Um, but each to their own. Everyone has different ideals. Everyone has different dreams. But my ideals are implicitly simple, and that is to continually live in accordance to planet Earth, and to live peacefully, to live in harmony, to be very consciously fully aware of the energetic footprint I am leaving behind. And of course that is tested at times because there are testing experiences that come into our reality and we are tested. And it's not what happens to us that is important. It is our response. It is our response. And it can be, you know, the biggest thing or the smallest thing. It all counts. And nothing is ever gone unnoticed. Nothing. So everything is recorded, everything is noted on some level. Um, yeah, Earth is an interesting place to be in, isn't it? Oh, so how is everybody? Let me check in with everyone. Oh, hello everyone. Hi, Freely Burning. Hi, Boho. Hi, Vanessa. Boho says Christmas celebrations are now cancelled here in the UK. Wow. Some areas are allowed in some areas on Christmas Day. Okay. See, that's what I'm talking about. I feel family time now. I feel so lucky that I can spend time with, not just my immediate family, but other family and friends. Rose Alchemy. Hi, Rose. Hi, Earth Racer. Hi, Cry for the Moon. Hi, Johnny. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Oh, you're so sweet. Freely says, don't dwell on the collective drama. It's too big of a responsibility for any one person. Those who resonate with you will find you. Keep doing what you're doing. Yes, you know what, I totally agree with what you're saying, Freely, because nobody needs to be told what is going on. Everybody can see what's happening. And I feel my energy is directed to focusing on the beautiful things, the lovely things about life, and how to nurture that. And you know what? And I have to say, I don't know if this stems from my ET experiences. The last, actually, I will say the last experience I had was dream related, and that was last week, and it was a conjunction. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the conjunction or the crossing of Saturn and Jupiter that's going to happen maybe tonight or tomorrow night, where they actually collide or they are going to cross each other. I actually had a dream of two light bodies crossing and a huge blinding explosion came about that. And I don't know if that's any coincidence, but I truly believe that these experiences, these ET experiences I had predominantly back in 2010 to 2012 were a benchmark. And because I know how much I changed after those experiences, I was more focused on sciences, I was more focused on nature, on helping the planet, on planting, on gardening, because that urgency, even back, I don't know if any of you guys have seen, but that video of me in Mongolia in 2013, I was sitting on the bunk bed in this hostel in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, expressing my urgency to get back to Australia and buy land, and I couldn't satiate that urgency. It's almost as if I knew I had to do it, and quickly. So I feel like in many ways, the experiences and the influence from those experiences have guided me to where I am now, and basically teaching and talking about and sharing what I'm doing now. And so, yes, I believe focusing on what we can change and what we can control, which is individually, and it's our perspective basically, is more important than everything else playing out in the world. It's so exhausting. As soon as you, or at least in this house where I'm staying, the news is on at night and I have to walk out. I go outside because it is just a joke. It is a joke what I'm hearing on there. And, it's just, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. So, it's very obvious. And people are quick to forget that there is another way or so many other ways of living. So, yes, I agree. That's sound advice freely. Thank you very much. Hi, Naomi. Hello, Andulairah. It's an honor to see you live. Oh, you are a gorgeous being, period. It's a privilege to witness your experience here. Oh my gosh, Naomi. I don't think I've seen you on here before, so welcome. There's a great community of people on here. Um, I do live streams very sporadically, in case you haven't noticed. But there is a fantastic collective of beautiful beings here on planet Earth, and many of those have kind of congregated, or at least I have come across them on my channel. So you'll find here that there are very, very much like-minded people, that are fantastic human beings. So I feel the honor as much as you do. So welcome. Hi, Mazik. Merry Christmas to you. Keep things Venusian. Yes, oh my gosh. Isn't it funny that my chicken Venus, who's outside now, I talk to my chickens all the time and I know they understand exactly what I'm saying. Um, and I don't know if this is ironic, but Venus, my one of my chickens, she she is, I mean, they're all affectionate in their own ways, but she is so, so affectionate. Every single morning, as soon as I open my door, she is clambering up the stairs. She'll push her way through the door and she will jump up on my desk and sit there and kind of wiggle around until she's comfortable and wait for me to get my coffee and sit there. When I'm checking emails and things, she will want cuddles immediately. If I let them in, because coming inside of the house, I don't know, it's like a real special occasion for them. And I let them in the afternoon for about 10 minutes and they'll all run up the stairs again. And she will be the one, I'm sure you've seen the picture of her sitting on my backside. She is sitting on my booty and she just sits up on there, either in the crevice of my lower spine or up on the cushion of my butt cheeks. She is sitting up there. And I don't know if it's because I've called her Venus, but she is a very loving, very loving and lovely chook. Or maybe I already intuitively knew as I was naming her to call her Venus. I don't know, but it just seems ironic that I've called her Venus, the love chook, and she is very, very, very affectionate. Hi, Alter. Where are you now? Well, I am in South Australia. I'm not home. And like I said, I've got a family lunch thing I got to travel to today. And there's going to be because I haven't seen this part of my family for a long time. So we're having a lunch and it'll be nice. And this is why I love this time of year, because sadly, it only seems either big birthdays or Christmas time that we get together, sit down with each other and relax and eat and talk again. I wish we did it more frequently, but we know how it is. We know how it is. Hi, Louise. Have a lovely Christmas. Thank you. You too. Hi, Diana. Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you. Hi, Joey. Yeah, so I'm in South Australia. Hi, Chronic Fish. Greetings, Andulairah, and to all in the chat. finally made alive after a very long time. Lots of love from Athens in Greece. Oh, wow. How nice to be in Athens right now. Oh my gosh. I would just love to touch those ancient artifacts, or just touching the columns of the necropolis, or um, just standing there and imagining how times must have been all those years ago. I am mesmerized by that. And, I mean, obviously, where I am from originally, it's the desert and it's extremely ancient. And I have seen fossils in my area that, oh, if you watched, if some of you watch Stardust and Aliens, you will see that in my area there are places where some of the oldest fossils have been found in the world. And in fact, there is a seabed, like a sea floor, and these fossils are over 40 million years old. 400 million years, 40 million years, around before the Cambrian time, which is dinosaur. It's so old. It's even predates the dinosaurs. Um, it's so old, and to see these, so what I have seen, it's called a, is it archaeocyanthins? Archaeocyanthins. Oh my god, I can't even say it. I can't even wrap my mouth around it. But it's this pink marbleized um, floor of crustaceans, of little sea mollusks, little sea snails. I can tell you what it is in a minute. Maybe. Oh, yes. Okay. It's a sponge. It's called Archaeocyathra. I knew I almost had it. So this is of the Cambrian age, which is, so this is where I'm from, around this area, where there is I wouldn't say it's a lot of this stuff, but it's been found, and it is beautiful, beautiful to look at. This pink marble, and again, I'm mesmerized when I see this. Apparently, there have been some dinosaur eggs found in the Flinders. I don't talk about that on Stardust and Aliens, but I do talk about the significance of um, ancient history and evolution in this, not this area so much, but north in the desert. And it is just, have you ever been in a place where, and I talk about this in the documentary, but have you ever been in a place where it is just so deathly silent that you just cannot, it's so hard to fathom. Like, if you are constantly surrounded by a city or noise, constant noise, constant people, and then to be in a place where there is absolutely none of that, it would almost be disturbing for some people, to lie in a bed at night and not hear one single thing except for the wind, or I don't know, like, just nothing. So some people, I look, and you know what? Even when I lived in New York and Los Angeles and Dubai, and I would come back to the desert for a holiday, I would lie in my bed and I'd be like, oh my god, it's so quiet. It's so quiet. Um, so I would notice it even after a year or so of being away. So I know if you have been constantly living in the city in your lives, to come to a place like this and to have nothing and hear nothing, it's very confronting. So it's so special, and I always felt so hard done by as a kid. Wishing I lived in the city so I could go to the pictures, and the cinema and go to the mall and do what kids do, you know. But now, as an adult, I understand and I appreciate this place so much more. And I felt so lucky that I got it right. Like my point of entry into the earthly realm was just exactly, I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd want to enter into the earth right now, is that place. So it's very special. And it's been crazy these last couple of weeks because we've had that big movie up there filming, and I talked about that in the last live stream. And well, I think I did. And it's been nuts. So I can't imagine Hollywood coming to my little to my little place, but that's what I mean. It's such a crazy, special, strange place, and I love it. Hello, David from Brighton. Wow, Brighton. It's a long way from here. The love chook. Yes. Sitting duck. Christmas should be celebrated in the summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Do we think Jesus' birthday was the 25th? More like 9/11. Hi, pretty, and only your own thoughts to keep you company. Many blessings for a happy holiday season. Thank you so much. Hi, pretty. Hi, Sophia Davies. Merry Christmas. Sending you lots of love from Canada. Wish I was in Australia right now. It's so cold. Oh my gosh. Oh, believe me, I would take the cold over the hot any day, because at least in the cold, I can do work outside without being bitten 100,000 times by mosquitoes and flies just, in my face all the time. Summertime is brutal here for me, because it's only because, now living out on land, I want to do things, and I feel restricted because it's just so hot. And if it's not hot, or there's mosquitoes everywhere, and I get bitten alive. I've actually got one big mosquito bite on my foot, and it's just, I've itched it, and it's right on the sock line where I put my socks. I have just, yeah, I don't want to show you on camera because it's just ugly, and I've just been itching it in my sleep. And mozzies just, and here I am whinging about the mozzies here in South Australia. When I lived in the Daintree, if any of you saw my videos from when I lived in the Daintree rainforest, the mosquitoes up there they have to be a different breed. Like, they have to have their little, blood-sucking knife straw things, whatever they are, about 10 centimeters long. They're so scary. Even my old neighbor, when I would speak to Freddie, I would ask him, I'm like, oh, how are the mosquitoes right now up there? He's like, oh, you don't want to be up here right now, because he said, I don't think you would cope. He said, I'm having a hard time. And Freddie has been up in the Daintree walking around barefoot for the last 40 years. So if Freddie says the mozzies are bad, I know without a shadow of doubt that they would be horrendous. And they were horrendous when I was living there. And the tropics looks very beautiful on a postcard, but reality is a completely different other world. And if I was to ever go back to the rainforest, not that I would, but if I was to ever, maybe purchase a holiday house or go up there maybe in the winter for a month or something, I would buy a house. I would never sleep in a tent. And actually, one of my friends online, we exchange emails because he lives up there now. He lives near the Daintree rainforest, and I keep trying to enthuse him to go out to the rainforest at night. And I mean, I don't know how I did it. I don't have balls of steel, but I don't know how. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I had the courage to sleep out in the middle of this ancient rainforest, and that one experience of when I heard something walking around my tent at 3 o'clock in the morning on my block. So I was deep, like, so my block used to be elevated here, and then it would go down, and there was a flat part right in the thick of the rainforest. My tent I had pitched right in the thick part of the rainforest. And of course, it looks great during the day, but as soon as that sun goes at night time, oh my God, I don't know what I was thinking. But after that experience of when I heard this thing, I mean, it could have been a cassowary, which is a huge bird with huge feet. I mean, it could have been, but birds sleep at night. Um, I just remember hearing the footsteps slowly creeping around on the dried leaves. You know, that sound of just slow footsteps over the mulch, and it was a Blair Witch moment. I was terrified. I was shitting bricks. And I vowed if I could survive that night, then I would, first thing in the morning, move my damn tent and take it right up back to the top of my block, where I would put my tent up again next to the road. I was too scared. That was hideously scary for me. Yeah. The only thing separating me from this thing was a 2 millimeter thick tent. Oh God. So anyway, I have tried to encourage a friend to go up there and sit up there at night with some cameras and set up some, like trail cams or something. And this is the thing, like, there are so many other beings living in and on and under the surface of this planet. We are, I mean, most of us wouldn't even dream to think that these creatures exist, but they do. And they would be existing in either very remote locations or highly dense locations, such as in the middle of a rainforest. There are so many areas of Australia that are untouched, and humans do not live in, for the sake of the fact that it's either uninhabitable, as in too hard to try and go into, populate, or they're national parks and you're not allowed to. So of course that's an advantage for these creatures and beings to live in, because they know humans aren't around, and on a psychic level, in this forest, in the Daintree, I absolutely 100% feel these creatures are still living there. What they are, I don't know, but I seem to think that the Bigfoot, I have a real feeling that the Saskatchewan creature, the Bigfoot, not so much the typical Bigfoot of America, but a cousin. I feel psychically it's a cousin of the Bigfoot, living and dwelling in the far north. There is so much wilderness in the far north of Australia that I feel they are around. And you know what? It's funny, but when I was up in the rainforest, I always had a sense of being watched, up there. And sometimes it would hit me. I might be thinking about something else, and then all of a sudden, I think something like, "Oh, what happens if someone's watching me?" Or it would be like that. So, um, yeah, these beings are living and have been living amongst us, sharing this planet. We thinking it's our planet. It's not our planet. There are so many other beings that live and share this planet with us, underneath the surface, on top, through, um, the world is so much more wild and strange and crazier than we could ever possibly imagine. That's what I feel, at least psychically. Lewis says, put apple cider vinegar on the bites. It takes the itch out straight away. Yeah, it's not itchy now because I've left it alone. But my grandmother actually, when she was still alive, when I was a kid, if I got bitten, she used to put ammonia, cloudy ammonia. She would tip the bottle up and whack it on my skin, and it would sting like hell, but it worked. I don't know if cloudy ammonia is the most healthiest of choices, but that's what she used on me. What are your thoughts and predictions on the upcoming conjunction? Are you doing anything to prepare? Any workings? Well, obviously, I'm doing my rituals. I didn't, obviously, since I've been here, I'm not doing rituals. But when I'm home, my circle is set up. I might, speak words when I'm here, um, but I feel like the preparatory work that I've done in the past 2 weeks, I've already done the framework. I've already done the framework, and I feel like it. When I think psychically, I ask Spirit um, midweek, insights into this conjunction, and I feel the dream I had was very indicative of what is actually happening. It's going to be, you know what? I feel like it's an opening. I feel like it's an opening of another energy moving in, not a closing. I don't know what other people have predicted, but for me, when I saw this collision of these two bright objects, whether they were celestial objects, UFOs, whatever they were, when I saw them coming together, it was in the morning. I was looking up and I saw them coming, and when they hit, it was just so blinding. Everything was blinded. And to me, it was like an opening. It was like an opening. I felt a different energy after that. So I would predict another energy coming in, um, and I feel that this energy is going to. I feel this energy is going to bring more chaos, but it needs to come to the surface. So this energy is going to encourage more things to come to the surface because they need to be dealt with. Because I feel like the underlying aspect here is transparency. I feel like nothing is going to be secret anymore. I feel like everything has to be addressed and everything has to be forgiven. So, no matter the atrocities that have happened on this planet, a human moving forward into a new age has to have enough love and compassion and forgiveness to accept that this has happened, and there is no point dwelling on it. We have to forgive and we have to move forward. So I feel like this energy is going to encourage more chaos to come to the surface, which is a good thing. I mean, it has to be a good thing. Nothing is random. These events, these conjunctions, these crossings, they're not random. They are needed to happen. Um, there is so much more going on, planetary speaking. People tend to forget the relationship that Earth, what she's having with her neighbors, with our planetary neighbors. You have to remember that I keep talking about the law of cause and effect, and what we put out is what we get back. Well, on a global scale, you have to remember that planet Earth is also doing this. So our collective accumulative energy on our global planet is also putting out this energy. So, this chaos and this craziness, and this amalgamation of so many different forms of energy is constantly being put out by Mother Earth, and then we are constantly receiving in return. And so this is why I'm saying this conjunction energy of this opening of an in-streaming of new energy, it is so essential and necessary, um, as it is there to help. I keep getting the word transparency, to create transparency, to bring more to the surface. It's like shaking oil, and we see the craziness of oil when it's mixed with water, and then we put the glass down and we let the water settle, and the oil rises to the surface. It's a bit like that. More oil is coming to the surface that needs to be dealt with. I know that's such a prosaic example, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. That's what Spirit's giving me. I keep saying about full disclosure. Full disclosure is not going to come in the way that people are hoping it's going to come. So you have to remember that so many other places have already disclosed. So many other countries have disclosed and released information publicly. If disclosure comes, I predict it's going to be forced disclosure, because there'll be an event that is so big and so massive that there's no denying. And I feel like any disclosure is going to be forced. They are not going to come out and be completely honest and completely transparent, because they are still stuck in their old ways of, they have too much at stake. And if they do present a forced disclosure, I still feel like it's sanitized. I feel like these beings, these people, will ride this wave of secrecy until they are just burnt off the planet. I feel like they will live like this till their dying breath. So disclosure, I've always felt it won't be the way people are hoping it will be, and it will be forced. So Lewis says maybe it was a yowie walking around your tent. Oh my God, I don't know what it was, but I was terrified. I was frightened. I have no problem saying that I was scared. I didn't, and that's the thing, psychically, I would usually pick up on vibes of things. I'll get impressions, and this is why I think I was so scared, because I knew it wasn't a bird, it wasn't a cassowary. I knew it was something else, and I think that's why I was so terrified. I think that's why I was so terrified, because I knew it was something else. And I wish I could say that I was nice and calm with all my ET experiences, because they've happened so many times. But I will say each time, particularly with the greys, I have been so terrified that I have literally felt like I would die of fright. That, when they say, you scare yourself to death with fright, I totally get that, because any encounter that I have had with the greys, it's been like that. Other beings know, but with them, I don't know what it is about their energy that I found so invasive, so disturbing, and it was just terrifying. Anyway, Ponderous Prose, I'm Lake. Good evening, morning, folks. Welcome, Ponderous Prose. So, yeah. Oh, hi, Matronix. So glad you could be here. I feel like the elites understand that many are waking up. The restrictions being put in place just read as a panicked grab at control. Do you think it will outlast our lifetimes? It's going to change. um, outlast our lifetimes. In 50 years' time from now, Earth and life will be very, very different. Obviously, everything's going to be different, but it's going to be very different. And I feel like we are, of course, everybody knows we're coming to a close, or we are transitioning now into a new age, but we cannot go forward until this is dealt with. So, it's going to be a really fucking bumpy ride. It really, really is. And I've said this, back in 2009, 2010. It's coming. It's coming. And it's easy to say it, but when it's here and you're living it day in, day out, people get lost in it, get lost in the drama. Don't lose yourselves in the drama. Know that it's playing out and know that it has to be dealt with. Don't fall into it, because now I see around me, as I said to somebody online, in a message, um, and actually it was in a reading that I did last week. I feel the separation, even with my own family members, more than ever now, because I see how they are buying into this fucking craziness that's happening into the world. People that I love dearly, people that no amount of me talking to them and showing them, other options, and showing them research, and showing them proof, and telling them that this has been planned and propagated and organized for the last fucking 20 years, or more. um, they don't see it. They don't see it. And this is the thing. If people are not seeing it, you have to let them go. They have to live their own path. You cannot convince people of ideas if they don't want to, see it, if they don't want to, if they're not open to something else. You can't force it on people. And my family, of all people, they know who I am. I have it in my family. We have this lineage, um, but that's gone now. Like, my grandmother has passed, so times have changed, and the majority of people are following this fucking drama. They really are, and no amount of putting out the details on my behalf, like, no amount of convincing or talking to them is swaying them. Even when the other options just make so much more sense. Like, you have to let it go. And I can't even, convince some of my closest family members of what is happening. I'm not trying to convince them, but I'm trying to show them other options, and showing the dots of everything joining together, and it's extraordinary how people are absolutely absorbed and engulfed into what is happening. And so I just have to let it go. I have to just release them and let them go down this other path. You can't force it onto people. People will always be carving out their own reality. Um, you could talk about it to people and it just goes straight over their head. And so what I'm saying is that I feel the separation more than ever from, from the mass. I mean, of course, I've always been different, but really now I feel the separation is so physical. It's so energetically physical, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious, and you just have to honor their path, honor their wishes, and let them live their own lives. It's their path to follow. Hello, Ave, my girl. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, people keep pinching their rubbing to the age of Aquarius, but forget that all energies have a polarity, good and bad. We certainly saw that with Pisces. Yes, I fear the pendulum swinging too far in the other direction. I know there's going to be a separation, but don't. I mean, obviously, you just can't fear anything because this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what planet Earth is, and the fear, as I spoke in my last video, embracing the shadow. Too much fear is a hindrance. Too much fear is detrimental, and we don't have to concern ourselves with what those others are doing, unless unless you feel the need or have the direct connection to. Otherwise, you have to be a benchmark for what it is that you want to see in the world. You have to create the change you want to be. You have to be the change. You have to emulate it. You have to live it and breathe it every single second of the remainder of your life. I choose not to be a part of that. I don't like what I'm seeing. To me, fear, no, control and power, in this way represents everything. Fear, control, and power is the complete opposite of what I live by. So I don't want that in my life. I don't believe in that. I believe, in creating a harmonious world, and that is not done through control and fear and fucked up botched vaccinations that are not vaccinations. They are full of all sorts of other things such as nanobots and nanotechnology, but I'm going to zip it on that right now before I get myself in trouble. Um, Gosh, so, whether the pendulum is swinging far on the other side, it's always going to swing back eventually. So don't fear it or focus on it too much. It's always going to swing back. Hi, Alex Alexander. I feel I have honestly died, and the old me no longer is here. I feel guided and trusting in what is coming. You have to, because you're here, and your expanded self knows that. If you were meant to be anywhere else, believe me, you would be there. There is no accident and there is no mistake in your presence upon the planet Earth right now. There is no mistake. Yeah. Hi Pretty says, same here. No amount of talking to family and loved ones. No warning. Will they heed? They will hear none of it. Yes, truly. I understand. I understand. And as I said in my last video, I don't talk about this to anyone unless it's invited. Unless it is invited. Unless someone says to me, hey, Andulairah, what do you think about the current global situation? And then I will share how I feel. And it's going to be an opinion that most people don't want to hear. They I could just imagine how someone would respond, like, how could you believe it doesn't exist? People are dying. Of course people are dying, but people are dying every single second of every single day. But just not of this, you know, ghost virus, because it is a ghost virus. There is no virus. How can, I want to say in response, how can you believe so passionately that it exists? Ah, gosh. And oh, look, I can't even get into it because I can't get into it because my video will be flagged. But it's just I don't even concern myself with it, and I feel so lucky, like I have said throughout the entire year, how I got it right, how I listened to my intuition, how I bought this property, um, old derelict, cheap broken down property, and but I feel like the richest person on the planet Earth because I have land, I have soil, I have water and I can plant seed. I can plant food. I can drink my water. I can create life. I am so, so pro life. I am pro creation. I am about living abundance in abundance. Um, to me, living on land and nurturing the planet and nurturing a garden, nurturing Mother Earth is the most authentic, the most rewarding, the most satisfying, the most loving type of experience I can have on the planet Earth. Truly, you know, the exchange of planting you know, one seed, and then seeing the abundance of how Mother Earth, gives so freely in return to me. That is the ultimate form of true, authentic living. To me, that is our truth. That is how we should be living freely, abundantly, beautifully, surrounded by nature, surrounded and learning. This is what we should be taught in schools, how to be master gardeners and how to plant and live in accordance to nature. This is what our classroom should be filled with, is knowing how to plan and create the most beautiful relationship with Mother Earth. I wish it was curriculum in our education systems. To me, that is so important. So I feel lucky that I got it right, and I now have soil. To me, that is worth more than any dollar in a bank account, any millions of dollars to have soil. Because let's just say that, I don't know, the entire economy collapses and money is now non-existent. What have you got? You've got an empty slab of a bank vault with no seed, with no soil and no water. Soil to me is just, it. I'm reminded of that movie that I saw years and years and years ago. It feels like a lifetime ago, of that movie Waterworld. Do you remember that, with Kevin Costner? And he has that one lemon tree, and it's worth so much money because it's soil, and he's got lemons on it, and to him it's the most valuable thing in the world because it is a tree with soil with lemons on it. That's how I feel about the earth. So to me, it's the most authentic relationship, and that is the life I want to focus on. That's what I want to share with people, is showing people the true essence of authentic living as a human being on earth. To me, that's the most important thing. Now, that sounds like an alarm for me to um, end the live stream. Oh gosh, it's over an hour. So, so on that note, finishing on a positive note, I feel like the true value of life on earth, for me, it's only my opinion, is striking up a relationship with Mother Earth. If you've always dreamed of owning land, and you know what, it doesn't even have to be a huge amount, or even just creating a garden. You could create a garden in a space, the size of this room. You could grow so much stuff in this space. You could utilize the height. You could utilize everything. You would be surprised at the resilience of nature and life. The plant kingdom. I I have learned more secrets of the universe through gardening than through any other way. I feel like my roses, my flowers, my plants, they speak to me. Um, and then all the elementals at work in my garden, um, the fairies, the fae realm, the gnome world, like, um, there's so much more than what meets the eye. And I've actually noticed in a couple of my on my Elnor Gardens Instagram, I know you could say, it's kind of like light shining on the camera lens, but some of the pictures, the light just seems, one in particular, I think it's like one of my second to last pictures on my Instagram. I was really taken by the light coming through in that picture. It just seems so much more milkier and denser than just a typical lens flare. Anyway, it was quite special. Um, so anyway, I must go because I've got to get dressed and get organized. But people of Earth, my fellow brothers and sisters on the planet, I hope you have the most fabulous, happy, joyful, abundant holiday season. I love you, and I will see you in the new year. And, if you are into New Year's resolutions, I hope that yours is, moving towards living in harmony with the planet and being your best representation of what it means to be a human being on this planet. I love you, and may you always be blessed by the supreme truth and love of the cosmos. Love you guys.